Hello and welcome to another podcast edition of Taiwan Talk. I'm Keith Manconi, and today we're taking it live once again to the morning show, hosted by Terry Engel, one of those extended interviews that Taiwan Talk likes to produce in collaboration with the morning show. And today we're going to be talking about Taiwan's most popular national sport and the most professional league in Taiwan. Now, there's probably already a couple of folks out there, maybe most folks, that know where I'm going with this. But we're going to let you have, the full morning show experience here. Not going to spoil it for you. Instead, we're just going to take you straight there, straight to when we did this interview. That was April 13th, 2016, at 10 a.m. Here's your host, Terry Engel.
That's Jamie Cullum here, kicking off the 10 o'clock hour, don't you know? And it is Wednesday in the 10 a.m. here, and 10 a.m. means that it's time for our extended interview, is what we like to say, Keith. Don't we? We like to get on a couple of people from around here and there, and away we go.
Play ball! Play ball! Play ball. Oh, that's, okay. Today we're talking about the Chinese Professional Baseball League.
Right.
Is what we're doing. I'm not really happy with that intro that I just did.
Gotcha.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get the professionals, the people with the right tone to do this for me. Da sheng. You feel that baseball energy?
That's a little more putting us into the...
That's more doing it.
Into the element here.
That's getting it there for us. The reason that we are listening to this is that was actually the crowd roaring at the opening of the 27th season of the Chinese Professional Baseball League, a game which, by the way, broke the league record for home runs in a season opener.
Wow. How many?
7.
Wow. Okay.
I believe.
All right.
If I'm remembering correctly.
That's a lot of dingers.
It's quite a few dingers. I don't think they call them dingers here. I'm sure that we can learn more about that in just a second.
Okay.
That was March 19th, so the season is just getting started. And today we're going to help our listeners get into the baseball spirit by taking a look at Taiwan's most popular sports league. And to help us along with that, we've got joining the show once again, James Young, the league's director for international affairs. James, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks. I'm thrilled to be here.
James, right on. Thanks for coming. Yeah, man. I know you've been on Taiwan Talk before, speaking with Keith. Mm-hmm. You guys have had conversations in the past, and today, what we do here on Wednesday mornings is we take basically a whole hour to bring in some of these folks that either Keith has had an opportunity to meet or I've had an opportunity to meet, people who are working here in Taiwan with an international scope, and be able to sit them down and talk to them for, more than the few minutes that Taiwan Talk has to offer, as it's just a few minute segment. So thanks for being here, and I'm glad that we'll be here. We'll be talking baseball, if that's all right with you.
Sounds awesome.
All right, good. Why don't we begin by you just telling us a little bit about the CPBL? Obviously, for those who don't know, it stands for the Chinese Professional Baseball League. And maybe you can tell us how that might compare to the MLB in the States, how it might compare to other leagues around Asia. Tell us just a little bit about the league here.
Okay, well, the CPBL, we're the premier professional baseball league in Taiwan. So far, we have 4 teams spread out the country: Taipei, Taoyuan, Tainan, Kaohsiung. We have played about 240 games a year. Each games, each team has like 60 games, home games, so it's a lot of fun. I mean, of course, it's not quite MLB numbers, but
each team plays 60 games.
I'm sorry, 60 home games.
60 home games,
20 games total,
and 120 games total.
Yes.
So that's actually comparable with an MLB schedule, even with 4 teams.
Oh yeah. Well,
here's the thing: is if you've got only 4 teams in the league and you're playing 120 games, they pay 162 in the MLB, but 120 games. You're going to get some pretty good rivalries, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the players are sick with each other. I see them all the time.
I'm actually wondering if that's the case. It's got to be the case. How often do the players get traded back and forth between teams?
Actually, not very frequently. We just had 2 free agents signed this year, and I think that's our first 2 of the whole CPBL history.
Oh, really? Wow.
So there's some team loyalty there.
Oh, yeah.
You're an EDA Rhino for life.
Well, that's the way, it used to be back in, I would say, most professional sports, going back 50 years. I mean, if you played on the Montreal Canadiens, let's say, the hockey team, it was because you came from Montreal, or you're from the area. I'm sure a lot of soccer fans will tell you the same thing, that if you played on, Manchester City, it was because you were from Manchester City. You weren't, there weren't a lot of import players at the time.
So is there kind of that local element to it where you really, like, if, you're an EDA Rhino, you have that local tie-in, you know what town you're from?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, that's also where we're at the direction we're trying to push forward. Like a local-based loyalty.
Now, that being said, how have the experiments gone with bringing in, guys like Manny Fernandez and whatnot? You've had some big stars come.
Manny Ramirez.
Yes. He gave us a big break in 2013. The attendance increased a lot, and I mean, it was a huge boom for baseball. We haven't had such a foreign star for a while, but we've seen a very good steady increase of attendance. So I think it's still working for us.
It kind of helped.
Yeah.
What percentage of the players are import players, or is there a law for the team? For sure, other leagues and other sports or whatever have restrictions on how many, as they call them, imported players.
Is that really the technical term, imported players?
Yes.
Like you get a stamp on them and it says from the USA?
It's quite possibly, yes. I don't know the procedure at the border, but it's quite possible. But there are teams that, for example, I can think of the Canadian Football League, which allows you only a certain amount of what they call imported players. Is this the case here in Taiwan?
Yes, we call them foreign players. Each team are allowed to sign 3 players, and only 2 players are allowed on the field simultaneously.
Oh, really? Oh, I had no idea that was the case. From which nations do some of those players come from here in the CPBL?
They're from everywhere. Mostly from the States, United States.
Okay.
A lot of them from South America. Puerto Rico,
right.
You name it.
Are there
Japanese?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing.
Yes,
yeah,
there has been a lot of Japanese players, but actually, it's a funny thing. Not for a while though.
Is Taiwan, like the CPBL, is it one of the strongest leagues in Asia in terms of talent, or how, where does it rank, and how do we know how it ranks?
In your unbiased opinion.
In your complete unbiased opinion, yes.
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. Well, we're a good league, but I can't say that we are the best in Asia. Well, there's definitely the NPB, Nippon Professional Baseball League. They've been on for 80 years. There's the KBL. I think they're 50 years. So
right.
It was the Koreans. When we're sitting at our 27th year. So,
okay.
We're definitely not at their level yet, but I think we're trying to narrow that margin.
Yeah, right. And I guess it does take time. I guess that's one thing that the Japanese professional leagues and the Korean professional leagues have working for them, is the fact that, as you said, they've been there for 50 plus years, and sometimes it really takes a long time to not just develop the talent, obviously, but to develop the mentality of a nation that this is your national sport, and to get the kids involved, and to get the coaches involved, and to make it a way of life as much as anything, as opposed to, just some sport that we go and do.
But a lot of that is here. I mean, going back to the Little League days.
That's exactly what I was going with this, which was at how much of that is already kind of being farmed here in Taiwan.
Well, if you ask any Taiwanese what is a national sports, I'll give you 100%. They'll say baseball. Baseball is part of our lives. Especially when it comes to the national team event, everybody is looking at it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I'll say baseball is a big part for Taiwanese.
Yeah, and at what age will CPBL teams start scouting the players? What's Where do they go to kind of scout or get the talent from?
Are you like an agent for a 6-year-old or something?
Yeah, I've got this little kid that's, he's
got a mean slider.
Yeah, wow. He keeps me up at night with his baseball in the living room. So, no. What age do they start scouting players?
Well, baseball players in Taiwan, generally, they start out very early. They start from elementary school, and they have very good teams, and then they move up to high school. So I'll say the scouts are looking at a very early age.
Yeah, right. Now, compare the interest of national representation versus the CPBL, because whenever the big games are on for the CPBL or at the national level, I mean, you can go to a restaurant and the places are packed with people who want to get out and watch it, and there's a lot of team spirit. Are you seeing that more and more through the season now at the CPBL?
Oh, absolutely. Especially when our season starts, you can tell that people miss baseball.
Right.
Great attendance, a lot of discussions about baseball, and that's what we like to see.
Huh. Well, I wonder what the challenges are for the CPBL then, meaning just to try and keep the attendance up. What is sort of the biggest obstacle in filling the stadium every day?
Well, I guess you have to say that people, when they attend the game, it's not just to watch the sport. It's a whole package. It's the whole entertainment. It's the whole atmosphere that brings people come back again. And that's what we're working at. And also, I'll say we definitely wanted more teams. As you just said, we only have 4 teams. The players, they meet each other very often. And more teams means more combinations, matchups. So we'll definitely like to see that happen.
And that's something you think that your average CPBL fan wants? Is this the type of thing that the fans express to you guys? We want more teams. We want more of this. We want more of that.
I think so, because Taiwan, we have a lot of talented players, and actually not all players have an opportunity to play for a professional team. I think it's about time that we could move up.
Yeah, no, I'm always curious, because obviously in a country of 25 million people, it being the national sport, that stands to reason that there are a lot more, there is a lot more talent than could fit on 4 teams. I would think. How interested is, and I hate to keep throwing these questions just at you, firing them off at you here, but these are things that I've been wanting to ask the CPBL. How interested is the CPBL in getting players to the MLB, to the show, as they call it? Do they call it the show here? Not the show here, but the show there.
Well, MLB is the pinnacle of baseball. So, of course, we want to keep our players here. We want to treat them right, and that they feel like they belong here. But also, I mean, if they have a chance, if they have opportunities, it's good to see them go there and do the best they can. So even for rookies, they're allowed to sign with the team for. They have to stay in the team for 3 years, but after that, they have the opportunity to see if they want to seek other opportunities in overseas. If they are interested by the other scouts.
But you guys want to keep them, though, right? Is that
you're
saying this all reluctantly?
I've spoken to a talent scout before, and it sounds like you don't feel like when they get one of your guys, you're like, they got Lean, man, they got him. You don't have a little bit of that feeling?
Well, we always just want to hope that they feel like home here. Like they want to stay home, and it should be a natural instinct.
But I'm willing to bet that most of the Taiwanese spectator, your average Taiwanese baseball spectator, I mean, they just go absolutely crazy when Guo Hongzhi or Wang Jiaming they do so well in the States. I mean, that's really got
that could drum up the support here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that really has to be something that you guys think speaks towards the CPBL.
Oh, absolutely. When I saw when Chen Wei, he finally got his big contract. When Chen Ming-Wang, after so many years, he back to the majors. It's a very proud moment for everyone in baseball, and we just wish him the best. Yeah, right. Well,
it's a testament to the CPBL, and I'm willing to bet that there could probably be a lot more players that could play in the MLB. But again, like you say, it's the pinnacle in the world. That's a lot of competition.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if the more baseball in the world, the more the merrier. So if they do well overseas, people also generate interest in the baseball in Taiwan. So it's positive.
Let's just before we take a very quick break, I'm going to close on this, because this is again a question that I'm going to want to ask CPBL. In fact, I bet you that any spectator here in Taiwan, it would be one of the first questions to ask the CPBL, and I'm probably sure you've been asked a million times. I don't think it's any secret that in the past the CPBL has had some problems. We don't have to get into the details of that. I think we're probably all familiar with some of the turmoil that has happened in the past. What is the CPL, or so how does the CPBL kind of go about thinking towards the future? How do you guys kind of put that behind you and focus on the present and the future?
Well, there's definitely been, I'm assuming you're talking about like scandals, game fixing scandals in the past.
Yeah, I'm glad you said. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did though. But yes, that's what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, isn't it time for a commercial break? No, I'm joking. No. I honestly, it's something that happened before. The past is the past, but we try not to deny it anymore. You have to face it, and it of course exposed some regulations that were some faults in our regulations and for the league. So we definitely try to fix that. We try to give better treatment for our players. I mean, the happier they are, the less likely it will happen again. So
right.
That's pretty much our mindset.
That's an excellent point, actually. It's something I wouldn't have even thought. I almost would have thought about the other way. Well, we've got to make stricter things, and we got to this, that, the other thing. But you're right. The happier the players are, the happier they're gonna be to just go out there and play baseball.
Sure.
Which is obviously the point, right? That's what the CPL is striving for. Just get the guys out on the field, get the people in the stands, and play some ball.
Let them just focus on baseball. That's it.
Yeah, right.
So less locker room taunting. Is that what it's going to take? Less of those towel slaps. Less of that going on.
I don't know. I think towel slaps aren't. Not bad things.
They're part of the game. James likes them. That's the part of the game he likes.
We'll see.
All right. Okay, James. We are going to take a very quick break. Here's what we're going to do, and we'll be back. We'll be talking with James Young from the CPBL. We'll be doing that for the entirety of the hour for our extended interview here on Wednesday. Stay with us. It's The Morning Show with Terry on ICRT.
ICRT.
We return to the program here. It is 10:26 in the morning, and time for us to return to our extended interview. We've currently got James Young in the studio from the CPBL, Director of International Affairs. Is that the way to describe you, James? Is that fair?
That's perfect.
All right, good. What is the CPBL doing?
Do we count as international affairs? That's an exciting thought.
You're right, we do. Wow, this is
one of his international affairs to direct.
It's an honor. Well, that's kind of where my question was going with this.
Change those business cards.
Which is what do you do, James? How do you go about directing the CPBL outward beyond the borders? How does Taiwan go about promoting its game outside of Taiwan? We've talked about how you guys try and put people in the stands here, how you cultivate some of the talent here, but what is the league doing to push beyond, this island?
Well, as you just mentioned before, there's other professional baseball leagues outwards. There's MLB, there's an MPB, KBO. Like they're all a very distinguished league that were well developed. Maybe I'll say even more than CPBL. So they're kind of a model that we learn from, and we try to have as much as interaction with them throughout the season, and also especially after the season, we try to hold some international events. For example, last year we had our third Asian Winter Baseball League. It's something that they put out. They send their minor league teams, and we have a great, good amount of games.
Who sends the minor league teams? The MLB?
No, not the MLB, but the Asia leagues. So,
I see. Okay.
MPB, KBO.
Actually,
we had a European team sent up by WBSC.
I see, and they send sort of like a spring training here, almost. Is that sort of thing? Is it fair to say that? But in the winter?
Well, you could say that, but it's more likely for rising stars, young stars, who good players who maybe they just got drafted, but they didn't get to play, and they lacked the opportunity to train or to get themselves in better shape. So I think it's Taiwan. It's great in the winter in Taiwan. Like we had this huge advantage that it's very warm here.
Yeah, so you practice.
Better place to play. Did you do any of that little league stuff when you were growing up here?
Actually, no, I wasn't quite a baseball player, but I love to watch it.
You're more of a director of international affairs. It's more.
Yeah, I'll try to stay behind the
desk. All right, yeah. Don't want to hurt your ankle. Does the Taiwan Professional League here, CPBL, do you guys have any sort of affiliation with the other leagues around Asia? Do you guys compete? Do you ever play against any of the teams from the Nippon Baseball League? Do you sound, the Ida Rhinos out to other places to play outside of Taiwan?
Oh, absolutely. In the past, there was the Asian series where each of the champion of that year, like all the leagues will send those champion teams to one place and play like a huge event.
Oh, sort of like what do they call it? The UEFA Cup in soccer. Sort of like that. You take the top club team. And
Similar. Unfortunately, the event so far is canceled, but we'll see. We're definitely trying to revive some sort of international event. But in the meantime, like for this season, one of our during our preseason, we started with 2 friendly games played in Japan. We sent
really?
like a CPBL All-Star game, All-Star team. And they played their national, the Japanese national team.
Wow.
In Nagoya and Osaka. So it was a huge event. It was a crowd of like 40,000. So it was huge.
I've been involved in a few events with the CPBL, and one of which was the last time the LA Dodgers came to play a CPBL All-Star team, if you will. You guys have any of that in the works?
Oh, absolutely. We're trying to put that in our plans and trying to make that happen.
Okay. Sounds like we're not going to get many more details than that, are we?
Well, I'll let you know, and if you invite me again, and sure, I'll let it promote the event.
So it sounds like those details are around. But that's obviously a great way to promote the CPBL. And just one more question here concerning that and pushing past the borders. Is there any star in the league right now that has kind of pushed past, just the fame or the notoriety of being a baseball star here in Taiwan? Is there anybody in particular?
Well, I have to say this year should belong to Chen Jingfeng. He used to play for the Dodgers, as I just mentioned.
Yep.
He's the man of Taiwanese baseball.
Yeah.
And this year will be his farewell tour from professional baseball.
Right.
So he's definitely the man to watch.
And what about this 70-game hit streak I'm hearing about?
Oh, that's the other man. That's his name is Lin Zhishen. Well,
right.
I just mentioned that we just had 2 free agents swaps this year. He's the one of them. He just left the Flamingo Monkeys and he joined the China Trust Brothers.
Now he has, to my understanding, he's gotten on base 70 consecutive games, which breaks the record for Asian baseball, professional baseball.
Right.
And that's a whole continent. We're talking, he broke a record for a whole continent.
No, in professional baseball, and especially a continent that includes Korea and Japan.
Exactly.
Two very strong baseball nations, of course. Not to take anything away from Taiwan. But, and he is rapidly approaching the Ted Williams, what they call the unbreakable record, getting the on base record for 82. I think it's 82.
84.
84. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, 84 games. And there's a good possibility he's going to do that.
Yeah.
We don't want to jinx him, right? But
well, last night he didn't. The record last night he increased the record to 75 games. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
This is fake wood. Don't bother knocking on this.
It's just veneer.
Gotta find a piece.
Now, just talking about pushing baseball past its borders, Keith, who do we have joining the program here now?
So far we've been kind of getting the official perspective on the CPBL and everything there. Now we're going to get a fan's perspective. And we want to bring in a guy who co-founded an English language blog that covers the CPL, that blog being CPBL English. And that guy is Brandon Dubray. Brandon, hello.
Hello.
Well, thanks for joining us, Brandon. The reason why we're excited to have you on the program here today is because I don't know personally of any expat that kind of lives here in Taiwan that takes baseball as seriously as you do. I mean, serious enough to start a blog and to
follow it very closely.
Follow it closely and basically act as a commentator, a color commentator for fans and for
the English-speaking community over here.
Yeah, well, and that is the whole idea behind our website, is that we kind of believe that there are more people, more expats like us out there, and they want information. They want to know about this league. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of English resources at the moment. So that's kind of our niche, and we're looking to exploit that. And so far, the feedback's been great.
How closely do you follow the CPBL, Brandon? I mean, if I were to throw, what would stump you, and what type of, how close do you get this? If I were to say right now, I'd say who has the best ERA right now in the CPBL? Would you be able to tell me, or are you that tuned in?
Yeah, actually last night, Ida's starting pitcher, Mike Laurie, an American, he took the lead, and he's at 2.91.
That is absolutely incredible. That's incredible.
You thought he was going to stump you.
Yeah, I thought I was going to stump you with that one, but no, of course not. I won't be facing off any trivia challenge with you. From a fan's perspective, Brandon, why don't you tell us what you're most excited about this season coming from the CPBL?
There's so many things to be excited about. And so far to begin the year, it's just offense. All right? And that's one thing I love about this league, is it is a very offensive-oriented league. I went to a game on Friday night in Xinzhuang that ended in a 15-15 tie.
Wow.
12 innings.
Wow. See, now that's my kind of sport. You know what I mean? I don't want to go see 1-0. I want to see 140 to 142.
Ida Rhinos last night, 18-2, they won the game.
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Good stuff.
You guys were talking about Lin Zhishen. He's been on base 75 straight games.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's not doing it cheaply either. He's got a batting average of 448, and he's got 8 home runs already. So these guys can hit. That's one thing about this league. So, I think the casual baseball fan kind of is drawn more towards offense, and they are a 1-0 pitching battle. So that's a great thing that this league has going for it, and something that everybody should know.
Now, is it truly because the batters are that good? Is that what it is? And just to clarify for those who are listening that may not know, you said he's not doing it cheaply. I'll just clarify for it and tell me if I'm wrong. But he has an on-base streak going, and what you mean by not doing it cheaply is that he's hitting home runs. He's not just taking walks, and he's just not getting hit by pitches or getting on base, by proxy of something else happening. He's actually going out there and hitting them out of the park.
Oh, yeah. He's averaging almost 2 hits a game.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
I said, he's tied for the league lead in home runs with 8. Last night, he did draw a walk in the 9th to continue that streak.
Ooh, okay.
So that was kind of a bit of a scary moment for all of us who want his streak to continue.
He did.
But last night was kind of the anomaly. He has been doing it very impressively.
Yeah, excellent. So it is a result of good offense. Then this isn't just the fact that the pitchers are going out there and serving up beach balls or anything like that.
They're not just belly itchers.
Yeah, these guys are actually hitting them out of the park, and they're great hitters.
Right. They are great hitters. And one thing I'll say about the league, though, is that let's look back at the Premier 12 last fall and the Chinese Taipei national team. Almost every hitter on their starting lineup came from the CPBL, whereas a lot of their starting pitchers actually came from other leagues, notably the NPB in Japan. So it seems like the young kind of stud pitchers from Taiwan are going to try their hand overseas a little more. They're getting
gobbled up real quick, is what you're saying. Is that more a focus, do you think, and this is obviously maybe an opinion more than anything else, but is that because Taiwan sort of generally as a rule when regarding baseball they focus on hitting, or do they focus on pitching? And I'm talking about the young sort of learner, the young baseball player.
That is a difficult question. I would say they focus on both equally, but it's just that the top pitchers when they're coming out of university are getting the international opportunities and are taking those opportunities.
Yeah, right.
Let's get James into this foray. So we've heard a little bit from Brandon about what he's most excited about this season. What about yourself? What are you looking out for?
Well, I'm looking. It's definitely the year of the batter. I mean, they're tearing out of the park.
So you agree with that count?
I agree, absolutely. I hope our pitchers can settle down as a point, keep that balance as well. We want to see good offense. We also want to see good defense as well. So
yeah, of course. And is that primarily, as Brandon mentions, is this what other leagues are looking at when they look at Taiwan? Are they looking at pitchers? Does Taiwan have particularly strong pitchers, and they're kind of looking at you guys, and that's who they're targeting?
Well, I definitely agree that our offense is more impressive than our pitching. So there's definitely, as Brandon just mentioned, a lot of the good pitchers, good young pitchers. They try to seek opportunities overseas in the beginning.
Yeah, right. Right.
We'll see. But there's this. Last year we had an ace. Actually, one of our ace pitchers, Zheng Kai-wen, he had an injury, and very unfortunate. But this year he's coming back. He's coming back strong.
So you're looking forward to seeing him as well. Okay, excellent. All right, guys. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break because we got to jump into commercial. But Brandon, we're going to thank you for joining. Why don't you just give us some of the details of your blog, where we can find that?
Yep, that's at cpblenglish.com. We're updated daily with game, previews, game results, features that you can't find anywhere else, interviews with some foreign players. We have a couple of those already. Full English schedule, news on stadiums, all the information's there.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining, Brandon, and appreciate your insight into the game and your good work. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Brandon. Brandon
Dubray.
Dubray, thank you very much. Brandon Dubray.
His French letters will throw you.
Yeah, they always do. Brandon Dubray. We do have to take a very short break. We'll be back in just a moment. Here, it's the morning show with Terry on ICRT.
Okay. I'm going to need to see some identification.
We're ICRT, where English, good music, and good times come together.
All right, we return now to the morning show and our extended interview with James Young of the Chinese Professional Baseball League. And we've been keeping things pretty serious here so far. But now it's time to put Terry to the test.
Okay.
You profess to love Taiwan. You profess to love baseball.
I'm all ready for any challenge, as you know, here on the morning show.
Now we're going to find out what you really got with a little bit of CPBL trivia.
Okay.
James Young obviously has a bit of an advantage in this regard.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Terry is coming into this swing, and how you feeling, James?
I'm a little afraid, actually.
You're a little afraid. Just don't let his bark worry you. It's there's no bite there. There's no bite there.
All right, so James and I are going to face off in a trivia challenge here in the CPBL.
That is the idea. All right, we got 5 questions. Not too much time. 5 questions only. First one. So of course we all know that the CPBL has an illustrious history. It's been around for quite a while. We're going to start off with an easy one. What was the year that it was founded? CPBL. What was the year it was founded? Just feel free to jump in.
Should I just go? 1989.
1989 is correct.
1989.
All right, one up on the board for James.
That's one for James. Okay.
All
right. I'll try and focus here. That's what I'll do.
Okay, you just focus a little bit more. Okay, second one. So we just heard about how some of the, I think the Ida Rhinos are doing very well so far this season. But let's look back on last season. Who took the season? Who came in first place last season?
Oh, boy.
You mean the champion?
Yeah, the champion.
I'll give you 3 seconds.
All the brimming with confidence.
That's a little, okay.
Well, they're the Lamigo Monkeys.
The Lamigo Monkeys.
Lamigo Monkeys.
From James. All right, okay.
Give me 3 seconds on that.
All right. Well, Terry obviously not doing very well so far.
Here we go.
Game face time.
Move it to the
time
next
to rally. Okay, up next. So we already talked about, 7 home runs in the season opener. That marked a record for most home runs in any season opener for the CPBL. But the question I want to ask you guys is, how many home runs were hit at the game with the most home runs that Terry Engel saw? Of the games that Terry Engel was in attendance.
Of all the games I've seen in attendance.
Which one got the most home runs?
Okay, I know that one. James, I'll give you 3 seconds.
Okay, James, 3 seconds.
I'll just go with 4.
4. Okay, we got...
Oh, man. No, you're wrong. I was actually at the one where the Blue Jays hit the 10 dingers in the game.
Man,
yeah. Where
there
they hit
we go.
On the side. I was actually at
That's
that game.
correct.
Yeah, thank you.
That is correct.
Okay,
so one on the board for Terry.
2-1. Okay.
2-1. All right. So 2 more questions.
Got a little momentum.
Still competitive. Here. Let's see if you can keep that momentum going. As we just heard, Lin Zhisheng just smashed the record for the on base streak. That's 70. Okay. Terry, when you played baseball, how many is the most number of games that Terry has ever managed to get on base?
It is 0.
0.
It's absolutely 0. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely 0.
James,
You just tied my record.
your reaction time going to need to be a little bit faster, James. If you're gonna,
It was absolutely 0 on that. Okay, good. Because
Okay.
I never played organized baseball, so there you go.
organized baseball. All right.
I played a lot of unorganized baseball, though. but not a lot of
Disorganized
organized
baseball. Yeah. You don't get records for disorganized
No,
baseball.
you don't.
All right, last one up, and it is a tie.
It's a tie. So that comes all down to this question. Whoever answers first. Okay.
Okay, Chinese Professional Baseball League, we have the rep from the Chinese Professional Baseball League. This is trivia, so we're expecting a lot from you. Okay, so Lean, the guy we just talked about, signed a 45 million NT dollar 3-year contract. Wow. Big contract.
Yep.
All right, so the trivia question I want to ask you guys is, how does that make Terry Engel feel? Seeing that contract.
I know the answer to that one. Yeah,
How do you feel about it?
I know the answer to that one. I always feel I'm one of those few people that really supports the fact that I think athletes should get paid for what they do. I know you hear a lot of people say, that athlete gets too much. I think that they really are the ones that bring the game to the people. So I feel pretty good about the fact that he's signed one of the biggest contracts in CPBL history. So I'm going to go with good.
That is correct. That is unbelievable.
Jeez, I got to...
Oh, my gosh. 2 points behind. You brought it back 3-2. I can't believe it, James.
I'll say the same treatment should go to DJs as well.
Yeah! Whoa! Bonus points! I think James just won. I think he won the whole thing. Yeah, wow. All right. James, I'm going to give it to you. Well done.
He managed to butter up the judges. Man,
thanks.
Paying a DJ.
Wow.
Paying a DJ
nice one.
45 million NT. I don't know about that.
James, listen, before we have to move on from the segment today, we just heard the Lamigo Monkeys won last year. Who's going to win this year? I know you. I know you probably aren't allowed to pick favorites or anything like that.
We've got the camera covered. You can pass the money right on the table. Right. It's okay.
I know you're not allowed to pick favorites or anything like that, but I guess the underlying question here is, what can we expect this year? Who's really the front runner this year?
Well, it's very hard to pick a championship. The champion, it's a baseball. It's round. You never know what happens until the end. But I think this year the China Trust Brothers, they're doing great. They're fun to watch. So
our board of directors is going to be happy you said that.
Well, but still, it's just early in the season. Flamingo Monkeys are a little bit behind, but under the leadership of Chen Jingfeng his last year, that any magical thing can happen. So I'll say it's up for grabs.
Again, this is it's interesting. This is the magical thing about this, is that you don't necessarily have to finish first here in the league to win the championship. You know what I mean? To go down and into the playoffs and win. I mean, you can. Right. You don't have to have a great season, because anything can happen in the playoffs, as you mentioned.
Yeah, we have like two half seasons, so like either season champion will go to the championship.
Exactly. All right, James. Well, listen, we're going to have to move on, and we're going to thank you very much for being here today. And again, just before we go, the last thing that I'll ask you as sort of some parting words here, maybe this is your opportunity to tell the listening audience, what is it about the CPBL? What is the magic in baseball in Taiwan? And why should the fans get out there and support the teams and be there? This is your opportunity to shine for all of your bosses at the CPBL. Here you go.
Well, I think the league is off to a great start. It's a lot of fun, and baseball is actually a lot more fun to be actually in the field instead of watching it on television. So I encourage all the fans check out our games.
Yeah, excellent. All right, thanks, James. Appreciate it for joining us on our Wednesday extended interview. James Young from the International Affairs Division of the CPBL. So good luck with everything in the future, and good luck with the CPBL this year. It's going to be an exciting year. There's already a lot more excitement generated this year than I think in previous years, or at least from my kind of
vantage point
as just sort of a regular somebody who kind of scans the internet to see what happens once in a while. I can see that there's already a lot of excitement this year. So good luck with all that.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. All right, we continue the music. I'll be back in just a couple of moments. I'll let you know exactly what your theme for requests is today, but we'll check in with the 1975 as we wind our way towards 11. It's the morning show with Terry on ICRT.
Thank you all for listening. This was, of course, Taiwan Talk in collaboration with The Morning Show. We produce these extended interviews every Wednesday morning, so you can catch them live on ICRT FM 100 every Wednesday at 10 a.m. You can also find them online at the ICRT website, on iTunes. We're also posting them to the ICRT blog. If you do listen through the blog, or, wherever you're listening to them, you can leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about the show or what you're thinking about the topic. We really do hope that these shows, start a conversation, get people thinking a little bit, so would love to hear from you there. Or if you're looking for updates on stuff that we're doing here, you can follow me on Twitter. I tweet at Keith Menconi. You can also follow the official ICRT Twitter handles. Kind of forgot what those are. I probably should have looked at that before I went in studio just now, but yeah, just search for ICRT. You'll be able to find it, no problem. That is it once again for the show today. For ICRT and The Morning Show, I'm Keith Menconi. Thanks for listening.